Hey guys, this is Ryan with Mom on Mission, and today I'm going to bring you 5 tips to start a great homeschool day. This is a collaboration with Claire over at Cookie Crumb Fun, and I'm not sure how many people will be participating, but linked below you will see a playlist with other mamas who are participating, letting you know 5 ways that they start their homeschool day off great. And you'll also find Claire's channel down there, so check both of those out. First things first, my first tip for starting off a good day, any day, but especially a homeschool day, is to pray. I pray for our homeschool all the time, morning, day, night, doesn't matter. Um, but I specifically pray as we are starting our school day. That is the first thing we do. I make the kids stop whatever they're doing. We're sitting, we're eyes, focused in, ready to go. And we all just take the time to give our day to God. We thank Him for the time that we have together. We thank Him for allowing us to homeschool. And then we ask Him to just lead us and guide us in all that we do, and that we would learn what we need to learn for the day, and that our day would glorify Him. And I think it's good not only to obviously invite God to do that and to thank Him for all blessings, but it's also good for your kids to see that, to see your day centered around Christ, to see you, humbling yourself and submitting yourself to God. My second tip is kind of like it, would be to ground yourself in the Word before you even get started. And I realize not every devotion and whatever worship time has to happen in the morning. However, I think it's good to, get yourself planted there. Get yourself rooted in Him, in His words, have them fresh on your mind, so that that's what spills out of you when frustration comes, because it's going to come probably. Unless you know a secret that I don't. There's going to be frustration. And so you want that to pour out of you. And, you want His words to come to your mind. And you want His truth to be in your heart as you conquer the day. So my third tip would be to start with a clean space. And I'm not saying your entire home, because while that would be lovely, as I'm looking around, that's just not the case. It's not going to happen every day, or any day, probably. But the spot that is your main homeschool spot, whether you have an actual homeschool room, whether you're doing it around the kitchen table, whether it's in your living room, wherever it is that you mainly school, make sure it's picked up and ready to go. I do that the night before, because our homeschool spot is mostly in our kitchen. And so after dinner, we get all the dishes done, wipe everything down, sweep after their snack and everything, and just have it ready to go, so that you're not coming in with it already a big mess and feeling overwhelmed. Because I'm one that visual clutter, it sends me into meltdown. I cannot focus if there's clutter everywhere. So starting with a clean slate helps me a lot. My fourth tip would be to start at a time that works for your family and stick to that time. And I know it's not the cool thing right now to talk, schedules and whatever, because you're supposed to be free and do things how you want with homeschool. And yes, you should. However, if you have in your mind a set time, at least to start, even if everything else in your day is not really rigidly planned, if you have a general time that you want to start, and you're not always going to hit it right on, I understand that. But if you have a general time, that helps your kids, especially if you have littler kids, it helps them to know what's coming. And it helps them to be prepared for that time and not to be taken by surprise when you say, okay, all right, pick up all your toys, let's get to school. Some kids probably don't have a problem with that. My kids freak out even with a schedule, but they're even worse when, before we had a set schedule, I would just say, all right, let's do school now. And then it was just meltdown mode. And not only for your kids, for you, have a set time where okay, I wake up at this time, I have this many hours, what do I want to get done before school? And it helps you get those things done before school. Or, if you have an errand to run, or if you just need some chill time, whatever it is, however your day is structured, it gives you kind of a goal in mind of when you need to have those things done by. And everyone's start time is going to be different. Some people have kids that are up at the crack of dawn, 5 o'clock every morning, ready to go. And if you have kids like that, and if you're a morning person, then start your day at 7. I mean, your school day at 7. That's up to you. That's cool. If you have kids that like their sleep and you like your sleep, and or you like to get stuff done while they're sleeping, then start your day at 10 or whatever. Um, but pick a time that works for you. Maybe your spouse works and you want to do school when they're gone, or you want to do school when they're home, or, whatever. Just pick a time that works for you and just kind of stick to that time. And it'll help everyone in your family, kind of know what to expect when. My fifth tip would be to ease into your day. And maybe you have kids that are just like super pumped about school every day and just wake up ready to go. Um, that's not my kid or either of my kids, really. They don't hate school by any means, but that's not what they want to do when they first wake up. I tried for 2 years to make it to where we would, wake up, get breakfast, get our devotional stuff done, get dressed, go to school. And I fought with them for those 2 years. It just wasn't worth it anymore. I'm the kind of person who I would love to just wake up, get my to-do list knocked out immediately, and then have the rest of the day to do what I wanted to do fun things, to enjoy my hobbies and stuff like that. But my husband's not like that, and my kids aren't like that, and I can't force that on anyone else. So, I'm not going to let them completely dictate what we do, because otherwise we wouldn't do school till, right before dinner probably, if at all. But I do recommend, don't just jump into your day unless that just works for your family. I recommend, letting them, play for a little bit, letting them, whatever they need to do to get woken up. And, if they're not the kind of kids that are like I am, who want to just get up and go and get it done, I let my boys, they wake up, they typically go straight to Legos or Magnetiles or some kind of building or cars or whatever. And I let them do that to wake up and to just ease into their day. And then when it is time for school, one, I give them a fair warning by playing our morning song. And I'm sure I've talked about that before. And that gives them, after they've gotten dressed and everything, then that song comes on and they know it's time to start. And then we don't start right to the hard stuff. We don't sit down and do math and all, the stuff that they don't really like. We sit down in our living room and do morning time together. We look at the beautiful stuff. We look at the good stuff, the true stuff, truth, goodness, beauty. And we sit and we read and we cuddle. And it really helps connect us to one another before we try to connect to the material. Because when we're diving into a good book, sitting together, all of us enjoy that. And so that's putting us all in a happy mood before we ever get started into the hard stuff. And, it helps us to just enjoy school more and to just kind of linger and have some chill time while it's still learning and still valuable. But we're starting slowly. We're not starting off sprinting, despite what I think I would choose if I were them. But I'm not the student, and I got to make it work for them too, and not just me. So those are my 5 tips. Start your day with prayer. Start your day with the Word. Start with a clean space. Start at a time that works for your family, and make that pretty much the same time every day if you can. And ease into your day. And I especially recommend starting with a morning time, just a time to relax and to enjoy the beautiful part of learning. So if you like videos like this, if you like anything homeschool related or biblical womanhood related, parenting related, anything like that, I do invite you to subscribe and comment below, how do you start a good homeschool day? I remind you to check out the playlist below to find out more tips on how to start a good homeschool day, and to check out Claire's channel. So I will talk to you later. Bye.